generation. Who? My generation. Talking about my generation. Who? I'm ashamed of my generation. It's not a generalisation. There are loads I see think just like me, but I'm seething with frustration. I'm ashamed of my generation. Once crusty, now crustacean. Then model punk, now spouting junk in our strange divided nation. For years the right-wing press been spamming down our throats their bigotry ramming. Murdoch and Dacre been programming, heads full of brain-dead nonsense cramming. No desire to cross-examine, state of intellectual famine. You call me snowflake, I call you gammon. Hang on a minute, I think I'm a gammon. But if I'm pink I'd rather be a salmon. But if I'm a gammon I'm a left-wing gammon. DIY, no love for mammon. I'm ashamed of my generation. It's such a transformation. So many young folk think we're a joke with the brains of a dead Alsatian. I'm ashamed of my generation. It's such a transformation. Once summer of love, then shove the dove, give favourage a donation. Horizons shrinking as they get older, hearts and minds growing harder and colder. Hippie gardens left to moulder, poor and sick get the cold shoulder. Slowly losing our love for humanity. I'm all right, Jack, selfish inanity. Some in church claim Christianity. Jesus Christ will call it insanity, but we know we're not all like that. Call your mates up when they spout tat, and your siblings when they spout tat, and your family when they spout tat. 60 doesn't mean right-wing prat, 70 doesn't mean sad old bat, 80 bring out the welcome mat, 90 wear a pink nipple hat. I'm reclaiming our generation with great determination for unity, community, respect and integration. Cheers. So for my last poetry book, Undaunted, subtext, Trump, Brexit and bladder cancer. Here's my Brexit poem, rock and roll. Well, there are two actually in here. This is called Rock and Roll Brexit. Oh, the lights are sparkling. I've just toured my band Barnstormer from Dunkirk to Lucerne and back through France, Belgium, Germany and Switzerland without showing a passport once. Yes, non-EU Switzerland too, a little bridge, an empty hut. In my punk rock youth, I remember how musicians had to carry carnets for our instruments when we crossed the channel. Everything down to the last spare string, painstakingly listed on a pointless green form, checked and stamped at every border, after standing with the truckers in endless queues. I remember the invasive French customs, whose credulously predictable searches for non-existent drugs took the edge off many an otherwise enjoyable tour. Search the big, posh cars driven by the suits, I'd always say. After these unimaginative custodians have finished their fruitless checks. No one imports half a ton of heroin dressed like we are. Driving a scruffy transit van with clean meat written in the dirt on one side. We hate Crystal Palace on the other. A large knob and testicles scrawled on the back. And empty beer bottles rolling around on the floor. We're going to have to go through all this again just because Rupert Murdoch was pissed off by the fact that no one in Brussels took a blind bit of notice of him. Lord give me strength. Only joking, of course. Brexit was an informed decision taken by the British people after serious consideration of the established facts, presented intelligently and objectively by the rigorous guardians of the Fourth Estate. And anyone who suggests anything else is patronising and supercilious. So if in a few years' time, a British number plate for a band touring Europe becomes the equivalent of a plague signal on a door in medieval times, and I'm once again obliged in ridiculous forms, and perhaps even at my advanced age sat naked in a room with a gloved finger up my arse and my foreskin peeled back as I once did in Calais in the 80s, I shall hold myself proudly to attention and celebrate the fact that I'm British and we have taken back control. Thank you.